I'm Jim Radio and welcome to my weekly Doctor Who review. This episode is called The Crimson Horror, so let's talk about Doctor Who. Why did you black out the sun? The song for this episode is a bit odd, it's a bit weird. I didn't quite understand it, completely honest. It's about these kind of number of strange deaths that are going on in Victorian times. It features the little Victorian gang again, the Jane, the Centauran, and the lizard woman, which I completely forgot her name. That's really, really bad as a Doctor Who fan. But they're back in this episode, which generally when I saw the trailers and the previews, I actually looked, wow, this looks really, really good. And I really like that little group, and I love the fact that the Doctor and Clara, are back again in this episode. Kicking some kind of alien ass and all that type of stuff. Saving the world as they usually do. And this episode, it was, I think, personally honest, a huge disappointment for me. There is bits I like about it, and there's bits which like, seriously kind of thing, really. I'm a big Doctor Who fan, and I'm really open-minded, but it went a step back yet again. It was just on the same lines as the second episode of this half of the series so far. And basically, like, the Doctor and Clara are not even in the actual episode for a good, I'd say 20 minutes of the actual episode, which is actually quite a smart thing. I actually like the idea of that, the idea that this Victorian little group is, undercover. They're trying to figure out, the Doctor's gone missing, something's not quite right here, and this old woman is basically promising, salvation from the upcoming apocalypse and all type of stuff. And come to my village, come to Sweetville, and we'll, only the best can stay. You can stay, and you can, save them from upcoming apocalypse. And of course, things are not as they seem. And Jane goes undercover to try and find out what's happening under Sweetville, and she finds the Doctor accidentally, and he basically is covered in that kind of, red kind of plastic mould thing. It's kind of poison in a sense, if you want to call it that. I don't really understand what it exactly does, in all fairness. And, she saves the Doctor easy. And actually, I like the elements that the actual Doctor was already previously there, like the fact that he's actually got into this kind of danger. And he's been locked away for so many weeks and stuff. It reminds me of the Tom Baker episode where he's got like lots of he's got that kind of cactus type face. He's all kind of exposed. I really like the idea that the Doctor can be exposed to something like that. It reminds me of the David Tennant one also, when he's stuck on that that midnight episode where he's like, the aliens controlling his voice. I like the idea when Doctor's in danger more often. It makes it more of a character which you feel a bit more excited for, and you want him to succeed. And that's what I like about his companions and his friends. Saved him at the last minute. This episode, like the second episode, the story was not good enough for a 45-minute episode. It dragged on quite a bit too much. The point where the Doctor was free again, I felt like it's going to end any second now. The villain, oh my God, the villain sucked. Basically, Mr. Swede, a bit of a spoiler here if I'm saying this episode, I apologise, but this episode is not really worth, I would say avoid this episode, perfectly honest, because I just generally did not enjoy this episode at all, perfectly honest, apart from a couple of little sections in it. Mr. Swede is this little alien creature thing on the actual old woman. The reveal is like, Mr. Swede is here, kind of thing. Actually on the actual woman, keeping it, this little power site is keeping the woman alive, and the plan is to infect everybody else so they can become like, models or something. Well, I didn't quite get it. It was like, is it is it an invasion type episode? Is it a kind of, I want to wipe out mankind, I want to control mankind? I didn't really get the motivation that much. The actual old woman actually really annoyed me for the entire episode. I thought, her ignorance was just like, you're not a good villain, you're just an ignorant bad mother that's, even her daughter had a bit more, interesting character, personality to her, but even her, she annoyed me at some stage, like the whole kind of, please mother, you gotta save me, it's like, whatever kind of thing. I just felt the villain was really crap. Well, the two villains in it. The actual old woman was rubbish. The actual parasite creature I felt was rubbish. I especially did not like the fact that the Doctor said, oh, I'll take it back to the Jurassic Park era. All of a sudden, squish. Like I didn't see that coming kind of thing. It's just little things that really annoy me in this episode. The dialogue was really annoying in places. I really hated that boner reference. There's a scene where basically the Doctor's, you know, up against, this is really clever joke about like, you know, all being tapped by the models. That was a funny joke, I really liked that, that was funny. And all of a sudden then Jane goes into this kind of badass martial arts kind of thing, whatever, and the Doctor goes, it's like, it's like, no, you do not do a reference like that. That's just that's cat in the hat type, you know, adult referencing. You do not do that. You know, the pacing was all over the place in this episode. You know, the first 20 minutes were okay. It was interesting, nice little investigation type feel. But I was hoping for kicking really hard when the Doctor came back, but it didn't really. It kind of slowed down again. It was like, okay, I'm back now. Where's Clara? And they're like, Clara's dead. And, it's complicated. It's like, no shit kind of crap, you know. So the episode was a bit a waste of my time, perfectly honest. You know, the creature got squished, the woman just accidentally fell over, and oh my god, another annoying bit in the actual episode. She had her daughter, point blank range with a gun, right? Yeah, the Doctor was basically from the same distance between me and the camera, right? Point blank range, pretty much, and she missed like 3 or 4 times from a gun. The Doctor's like right there, literally right there, and she missed. It's like, how can you miss? Even a flesh wound would have done something. It's like, and then all of a sudden, Jane and the lizard creature are like, oh, we've got the venom. Just these little moments in the episode really annoyed me. I got really angry at some of the scenes and dialogues. I did not like the creature, did not like some of the characters in the episode. I felt it was very weak for a 45-minute episode. Hugely disappointed, not a happy person, and add insult to injury, the ending I felt was even more a bit of a lackluster. The Doctor drops off Clara, and she's on the laptop, and she finds that because she's still a babysitter apparently, which I did not know. It was mentioned once within the first half of the series, so great reference in their writers. And then all of a sudden, she goes on the laptop and she finds all these pictures of all the adventures that she's been on with the Doctor. Pictures been taken, coincidentally, of course. And the kids come up and say like, is your boyfriend an alien? Is he a time traveler? Are you a time traveler? And she goes, no. I want to go on the time machine kind of thing. And she goes, no. And then the little girl in the actual episode says, I'm going to tell Dad you're a time traveler. I don't know if it was just me or if anyone else can agree upon me this. It really annoyed me that the way she delivered that line and the smug arrogance of it. It's like, if you said that to your dad, I bet your dad would like, yeah, time traveler, go to your room. It's like, how can you do a threat like that, seriously? Like, I'm gonna tell Dad you're a time traveler. What? That's like saying like, oh, I saw a ghost the other day kind of thing. It's one thing, yes, it's a Doctor Who world, things exist, sure, whatever. But you can't physically prove, and the fact it's a kid as well, I don't think the dad's actually going to believe her, in all fairness. And by the looks of the next trailer, the kids are actually in the Doctor episode, which is like, and it's the Sideman back, which I'm really hoping for that episode to deliver massively. But I got a feeling it won't because it has kids in it, and kids are going to be the most annoying thing ever. Got 2 episodes left until Doctor Who finishes, the 50th anniversary. As I'm really hoping the Sidemen one, I'm really hoping that the finale episode will deliver some really good episodes. That's been my review for the Crimson Hive. Hoping you were watching this review. Have you seen the episode? What did you think? Do you think it was good? Do you think it was disappointing? Let us know your opinions. Meantime, I'm today. Signing out.